Fantasyland is one of Disneyland's smallest lands. I mean, you can walk across from one end to the other in just a couple of minutes. So why does it feel like an entire kingdom? What's happening here? There's something about this place that tricks your eye into thinking that it's much bigger than it actually is. So together we're going to find out exactly why that's happening. And before we leave Fantasyland today, I'm going to show you one castle detail that was actually built wrong on purpose, and it helped to fix a problem that was hiding in plain sight. And it's all thanks to two design principles called proportion and scale. I'm David Block, and welcome back to Designed in the Wild, where we uncover Disneyland's hidden design stories, and I'll show you how graphic design helps to make it all real.
Have you ever walked through Fantasyland and felt like you were exploring a sprawling kingdom, only to realize it's barely the size of a city block? There's a reason it feels so big, and it's not magic. It's two design tricks that make tiny things feel towering and simple paths feel epic. Today we're going to uncover how Imagineers use those tricks to shape your experience, and how you can use them to fix one of the most frustrating problems in design, and that's figuring out what your viewer should look at first. Sleeping Beauty Castle looks like a towering fortress, but it's only 77 feet tall, and that's about the height of a few palm trees, yet your brain sees it as massive. Disney created this illusion by making every level just a little bit smaller the higher that it goes up. The windows, the stones, and the towers themselves all scale down just enough to trick your eye into believing that it's hundreds of feet tall. That is forced perspective, a designer's way of guiding perception through proportion and scale. To bring that concept into the realm of design, the same principles work here too. For example, when we make a headline, we make it large and bold so that it grabs attention, it feels important. And the supporting text below it just feels quieter because it's smaller. Good proportion isn't just balance, it's guidance. It tells your eye where to start.
And that is proportion and scale in action. When we design anything, a poster, a logo, a website, we're doing exactly the same thing. We're making the headline bolder, bigger, so that it stands out over the tagline and the body copy, and that way the message flows naturally. And the size difference shows people what they should be looking at first. And that's exactly what this castle does. It guides your attention without you even realizing that it's doing it.
Before we go on, let's define what we're actually talking about. Scale compares two different things by size, how big or small something feels next to what's around it. Think of a person standing next to Sleeping Beauty Castle. That difference in size makes the castle feel grand and the person feel small. In graphic design, that might be a poster title that's much larger than the body text. Your eye knows instantly where to look first. Proportion compares the parts within one single thing, how each piece relates to the others. Think of Mickey Mouse. His head and ears are huge compared to his body. That playful proportion makes him instantly recognizable and full of charm. In graphic design, bigger isn't always better. Sometimes scaling things down creates warmth and connection. That's exactly what Imagineers did when they rebuilt Fantasyland in 1983. They rethought everything using a principle called human scale, designing for the size, comfort, and pace of people, not spectacle. The original 1955 Fantasyland used flat plywood-like facades. Critics called them medieval tents. In the redesign, Imagineers replaced those with dimensional stonework, carved wood, and layered textures that felt like a storybook village. They broke up wide plazas into narrower paths that naturally slowed guests down and encouraged exploration. The result is a land that feels authentic, intimate, and walkable. That is human scale, design that fits the body, not overwhelms it. In visual design, the same idea applies. When something feels too big or sterile, scale it back. Smaller proportions, tighter spacing, and tactile details create warmth and trust.
And this is the other side of proportion and scale. The Matterhorn's massive size makes everything feel smaller and more human, kind of like it's a real village that's sitting in the shadow of a mountain. In design, we do the same thing. That it's that contrast that creates the structure. If you use a large image in your design, for instance, that'll anchor the layout while the smaller details help to support it. If everything is the same size, then nothing stands out. But when the proportions work together, the design just feels intentional, it feels balanced.
The Matterhorn is a perfect example of how contrast in scale gives structure to everything around it. Its massive size sets the context. It's the anchor that makes the castle and the shops feel like a small village tucked beneath the Swiss Alps. Designers use scale in very much the same way when they design anything. A single bold image or a strong headline can be used to provide weight, while the text, the smaller elements, can create rhythm and contrast. If everything competes at the same size on the page, the design will just fall flat for your audience. And when the proportions are intentional, a clear hierarchy can appear so that your audience will know exactly where to look first. The Matterhorn does the same thing here. It's Fantasyland's anchor, the visual headline that holds the whole composition together. And now for that secret that I promised you earlier. During construction, one of the castle's turrets was accidentally installed backward. If you look up and to the right, you'll see a turret with its window that's facing the wrong direction. Walt must have smiled when he saw it because he told the crew to leave it. It's actually a decision that exemplifies everything about how he approached design. Just as he probably learned when he was first animating Mickey, he clearly understood that perfection is not the goal. Believability is.
So here is the design lesson. Proportion is the relationship between parts. It's how one element's size affects another. And scale is how the whole design feels in context. It's how big or small that something seems next to what's around it. So here's my challenge for you. I want you to take one of your own designs, it could be a poster or an advertisement, and I want you to ask yourself, what is the castle in my design? What could stand to be larger than life? And what could be scaled back to make the story more clear? I want you to try it out, leave a comment below, and let me know what you've discovered. Join me next time as we explore another corner of Disneyland and uncover how design shapes the stories that we love, right here on Designed in the Wild. I'm not just a graphic designer and a high school teacher, I am also an author. I wrote a book called The Dragon Codex, Quest for the Relics of Design. This is a great story about 3 young dragons who have to learn graphic design to save the world from creative destruction. It's a book for young adults, and it's a story about family, it's a story about friendships, and a story about finding your place in the world. Pick up a copy today, I know you'll love it.